Welcome to B2B with Randy and Craig, where we speak to local entrepreneurs and learn about their journey. Welcome to B2B, where we discuss the rise, the falls,
and the kick.
No, we're not going there. We're not going there. Hey, I'm Randy, and I'm with
Craig from That's a Wrap Productions.
and today's guest, Adam Zimmerman from Silly Antiques.
You got a name right.
Welcome. I got it. We got our first question for you.
Why antiques?
Well, I grew up in this business, so antiques kind of is in my blood. My father did it before me, and here I am.
And there you go. Is your father an antique?
If he was still alive, yeah.
So, being in the antique world, what is your slogan? What's your catchphrase?
So basically, I'm the guy that could tell you if what you have is trash or treasure.
Trash or treasures. You know who was just in here? I'm going to bring back in. Ted, college hunks, hauling junk and moving. Come in.
Get in here, Ted.
So,
You two should meet.
Adam,
Good to see you.
Ted. All right, here's a good. So, you go into a house.
Yep.
People think it's gold. You have to give them the bad news. The next call would be Ted, right? When it's junk.
That's pretty much it. I'll go into the house quickly and do a walkthrough, or sometimes it takes a while. I'll find out a few items that might be good, but usually majority of items are not. So after I do my walkthrough, then the next obvious call would be...
All right, there you go.
Ted from Consultation.
So, Ted, I'm going to put you guys together. I just wanted to give you one more shot on screen because you're so handsome and everything. Thanks for stopping by again. We're going to talk to Adam, but college hunks. What a connection right here.
Great to meet you.
Good idea, you too.
All right. Thanks, brother. Thank you. All right. So how long you been doing it then?
My whole life, basically, but I took over about 15 years ago.
15 years ago, full time.
100%.
So what gives you the biggest sense of accomplishment?
Well, I would say that obviously when I could help someone and find something really valuable in their house and they got some extra money to play with that they didn't expect, of course, is the best scenario. However, oftentimes, even when I'm giving them not so good news, the fact that they could have closure is great. You know, when I get people hugging me, even if I'm
He calls
giving
it
them bad
closure.
news.
I call it disappointment.
Yeah, but of course, once that's done, you know, they could put that house on the market and get the big money, you know, but they just want a little bit of peace of mind, make sure they're doing good by their
How
family.
many people are in denial when you tell them, I'm sorry, that is trash?
A lot, but now it's less and less because people kind of get the gist. They watch TV, they know that the kids don't want it, and they hear it a lot. So it's not as a surprise as it used to be.
So I gotta know, like, so you obviously you grew up in the industry, but is there like a school or college for learning antiques, or
That's a pretty good question. I mean,
Not a very good question. That's a pretty good
just
question.
pretty good? I'll get a good one.
You got a lot of places to
There's
go.
work to do.
Well, it's a tricky one because if you try to study to be an appraiser, there's classes to take if you want to get specifics. There's also classes
But you'd have to be an appraiser in a particular field. Like you can't just go to appraiser school and appraise everything.
Correct, kind of, but there is something called the generalist appraiser, and then you
That's
have
what
to
you would
know
be.
a little bit about everything. And then if you want to be like very specific about something, that's a little bit more difficult.
So like if you were going to be specific about this, which for those on the radio, this is I don't know, what is this?
So this is
it's salt and pepper.
It's a 19th century piece. It's silver, low-grade silver. So it's not like sterling that you'd have here or in England, 925. This is under that. This is about 80% silver.
So if I had this in my house, so this is about, 6 inches high. It's an old-fashioned woman baker, and it looks like it's a salt shaker.
You're just happy.
Is it trash or is it a treasure?
Well, it's definitely not trash. Now, this is something in the silver value on something like this is only about $50, $75. But because of the motif, because it has the look and it's just kind of cool, you know, this is a piece that's probably $300 to $500.
That's not trash.
No.
That's not trash.
So how long does it, on average? I mean, I'm sure there are a variety of things that you look at, but how, on average, how long does it take you to say this is garbage? Or this is something
You just saw
really
him do it.
valuable?
It took him 2
No,
seconds.
I'm saying, is that your average?
What question is that?
Is that your average time?
He went from a fairly good to crappy question.
Can't all be winners, all
Well,
right?
basically, some items I see literally. I'll see in one house. I'll go to another house. I'll see the same item. So I know a lot of things right away, immediately. But there's certain things. Yeah, like this is a piece I have 100 times. I grew up with these kind of pieces.
Hummels, everybody's grandmother had those.
Yeah, this was something World War II. A lot of people started gifting them back in the day when they were in the military, and then it just kept going. They would say any present for grandma was always an easy Hummel.
So is this trash or treasure?
This is something that in its prime, that piece right there was maybe $150 to $200. Today, it is, I hate to say trash, but this is closer to $10 to $30.
Trash. This is trash.
These are trash.
This is trash.
Stop giving these
Do
out.
not collect Hummels.
No.
It's over.
Yeah,
So
it's
the
not a
Hummel
good
train
investment.
has passed
Is
on.
there a telltale when identifying a price piece? Is there something obvious you're looking for?
Well, I could tell you certain things, like mass production. This is a piece that's 100 of them out there, thousands of them out there. So because of that, it's supply and demand. If there's a lot of them out there, it's easy to get. It's going to be a lower price, and it's very common. So something like that is an easy way to figure something out.
And what's great, this is something you didn't know. Adam
Tell me.
has written a book,
What?
Antique Help. Because of the
Antique
reason
help-
people don't
antiquing
know.
for dummies, right?
Similar, yeah.
Well, then here.
I have some reading material later tonight.
Well, I can imagine what a great help this is to people. You're cleaning out your grandparents' house or whatever. You're going through an attic. You're looking at all your stuff.
Yeah. So basically, exactly that. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff you do need a professional and you do need experts to come in. But I get calls from people in California. I can't help literally. And sometimes it's a matter of this book. And I have a website, real simple, antiquehelp.com, a YouTube
That's a
channel,
great-
antiquehelp.com. And that's what the subtitle of the book is, making sense so you can make some sense.
Interesting.
So if you have a piece like this Hummel, you could call 10 experts in, you could do a lot of things, but this is something you could look up in 5 minutes and
What
figure
about
out
something
what it's
like
worth.
this cockamamie thing?
Yeah. So I actually.
This is Craig's genie in a bottle.
Yeah.
This
We
is
think.
This
mass
is-
produced in India, most likely.
crap.
and
Most
it's
likely.
brass, so it's vintage.
It's crap.
50 to 70. Yes.
It's
crap.
It's not
In
even
a
junk.
nice
It's
way.
crap.
It's
Get it out of
crap.
here.
Okay.
And it's the most scary thing to hold.
I have a bedside manner, so I try not to put him down.
But
so
I don't.
bad.
I don't. So delivering that news,
Yeah.
bedside manner.
Yes.
Your father taught you that?
A little bit, yes. My father was a little bit more abrasive. It was a different time, but he
Sounds
was
like my kind of guy.
very, very good at what he does. I was in the hospitality industry for half my life, so
Oh, really?
helping people in difficult situations, correcting things that are mistaken and things like that. People losing their car because the valet gave the wrong car to people. I've dealt with every crazy situation you can imagine.
I bet you never dealt with my grandmother when she came into the restaurant. My grandmother would order soup and say it's so hot, put ice in it and send it back because it's too cold.
Too cold, yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff you
Tells
deal
you a
with.
lot about the family,
I
right?
deal with a lot of my clients are either the children of those people or those people themselves. They're moving from a big mansion over here in
Right.
Old Westbury or like just a regular 5-bedroom house, whatever it is, but they're going to a condo in Florida with a lot less space.
Right.
So when the kids are trying to help them move, I have to break the bad news to grandma in the nicest way possible.
And then call Ted.
Right.
and
right.
then,
call Ted.
that's the last call.
So let's just say you had something that was of value and it got chipped.
Yeah.
Is there repair? Is there any repairing it to restore?
What's
its
the
value?
item? What's the item?
A ceramic cat.
No, it's garbage.
It's garbage.
In most cases, yeah, because like if you take this piece, which I do like, and it probably is worth 30, 40
Let's talk
bucks.
about this piece.
So this
McCoy.
What is this? Ceramic? What is this?
This is pottery. So this is a piece that was very, Roseville, McCoy, Hull are all companies that were very popular in the 80s, 90s when all the grandma type people were collecting them.
Right.
And it used to be great. But unfortunately, the kids don't want to dust these things like
Yeah,
we spoke
that's
about.
what he says.
So something like this in its time was probably, and you shouldn't grab by the handle because sometimes it'll come right off.
I
but
told you.
this used to be worth $150, $250, even $350 on a good day. Today, without looking it up, $25, $40 if
Trash.
trash.
Correct. Yeah.
So you can say, so if you had something that was at one point a priceless item, right?
Yeah.
And it got chipped.
Yeah.
Can you repair it?
You can repair it, and you could do it like an easy way and don't spend too much money. You could spend a lot of money. Like if you have a $10,000 piece, you want to fix it, maybe you want to put some money into doing it the right way, and you could pay for it. However, it will always be a repaired piece, and you will never get the money for a piece that's lived 50, 100 years
Got it.
and maintained its its condition.
How did you go from hospitality, your dad's building this business, tell me how that gap was bridged.
So basically, I was in Miami. I was a single guy in Miami, which was awesome. But I wasn't getting
That's
much.
for a different show. We love I love that. Sounds like the name of a book. A single guy from Miami.
But the problem was '08 happened. So I was doing a lot of jobs. I did every job in the hotel. So it was great. Had a lot of experience. But '08 happened, and it wasn't the best time for the hotel industry. Business clientele was a good portion of our income. And at the same time, my father got ill. And he said, I know you're not a big fan of the business, but you could help us out. And at that point, I said, okay, I'll do it because I have to do it. I'll do it and help him out and just kind of figure it out once I get back home. And when I got there, I'll tell you, he had a great reputation, but it was when the business started to change. So when I first took over, he had no website. Mm-hmm. He had no brick and mortar. And we did no business in Manhattan. So the first thing that I did was we got to do some websites. Now we have 5 websites.
Wow.
Doing multiple things. I have 2 stores in the city, which, no one trusts you unless you have a store. You can't have an address. So I have 2 stores in the city, and I would say 80% of our business is now Manhattan. So I started that back then, and now it keeps growing.
So let's talk about the stores, because there's different. I know some antique stores are consignment shops.
Yeah.
That's not what you have. You have full brick and mortar that are your stores?
So I have a couple different things. One is downtown, and my sister runs that store, and it's more for like the smaller items
called?
And the costume jewelry. Again, it's silly antiques. It's just downtown. I have another place uptown. This is more for decorators and designers, which is basically 1950s, mid-century modern furniture design and artwork. And it's beautiful. Like, it's exactly what you see on all the
What's
Instagram.
the address of both stores?
So Upper East Modern is the uptown store, and that's 315 East 91st
Beautiful.
Street. And that's great if you want to walk through a designer decorator and kind of pick out some beautiful items. We have it.
You have delivery service and everything, right?
Yeah, we can work all that out anywhere. And when we it's artwork for investment purposes, or if you want something beautiful on your wall, we'd have both. And then again, the furniture is really hot right now.
I would like something beautiful on my wall.
Right. Well, we don't talk about that, though. So if you're just tuning into WBAB or iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple, wherever you're getting your podcast, we are sitting here with the very well-known, the infamous Adam Zimmerman from Silly Antiques.
Not only infamous, he is a writer.
He has a book. I don't have a book. I wish I had a book. No one would buy it.
They buy it.
They buy it, right?
Cliff Notes.
So Randy likes to say that judge me not by my mistakes, but how I correct them. Right? Mm-hmm. Have you ever mistakenly valued something wrong and found out, or?
That's a pretty scary question.
No, he's always been 100% right.
Listen, in this business, you're not going to know everything. So in order to protect myself for the most part from those situations, is if it's something that I'm not sure of, I have experts in every field. Like if you have something that's, let's say, Russian, Cyrillic, I can't read Cyrillic. Right. Okay. But I have an expert.
Well, I can.
Well, listen, maybe I should. You're my new expert.
You're on payroll.
But I have experts in that. Chinese experts. I can't read Mandarin. I kind of know what I'm looking at, but if it's something high end enough, and it has potential to be a lot, I have experts to make sure I don't make a mistake when I'm evaluating something.
It's like when I watched that on that TV show where. Down in Vegas.
Yeah.
At the pawn shop. Right?
Yeah.
So he always has an expert he comes in.
Yeah.
Not porn.
That's what I
get
said.
your mind out the gutter. Correct. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much a story of my life. Like if I'm in a house, oftentimes, like I was in a house yesterday, 5 towns, and it was, I took 100 pictures and I sent them to 8 different experts within 30 minutes.
Was anything trash or treasure?
It was a lot of trash. And then one of the pieces I actually have here, but they did have some treasure. They had some art glass that was pretty good, and they had some other things mixed in. But
show us which one here was from that house.
So this box right over here.
This?
Yeah, and it is 2 hands in Randy.
God,
I don't want you to.
He's going to owe him a lot of money.
So this piece is actually one of the only pieces in the house that was not antique. This is probably from the 80s. It's just a real cool looking box. It's malachite really cool. With inlay. I'm probably going to keep this one myself. But this was in the house, and majority
really
stuff
cool.
was
This
old.
is
But
heavy.
this is good. Yeah, this is actually malachite. So
what's
it's
malachite? Type of stone?
It's a type of stone, and the inlaid is inlaid stones are going to be like tiger's eye, amethyst, lapis lazuli. There's a ton in there.
Did they tell you a story where it came from, how they got it? They have no idea.
Her uncle collected boxes, so we had over 300 boxes, most of which were wood, not worth a ton. But this one, like I said, because it has the look that I could put in a decorator designer type house, they could throw this in on a table and it would look great in just about any house
That was
right
terrific.
So I got to ask my $1 million question of the day,
Uh-oh.
right? My family is known to ask me to come out and, shoots things on my family time, right?
I got nervous. I didn't know where you was going with this for a second.
now.
When you go to family events, how do people like, hey,
What's this worth? What's this worth?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. At this point, the family's probably done it already multiple times. Sometimes they'll ask me a question like my cousin asked me. He's like, I have this bronze piece. Can I clean it? And they'll ask me questions like that, how to maintain it, what's
Right.
worth some
Well, that's
money in
fair.
general. But, yeah, I am the guy who answers those quirky questions.
Do you
of
live in
course.
Manhattan? Do you live on Long Island?
So I live in Long Island on the South Shore in Merrick.
Nice.
And I
Nice.
grew up there as well. Did take a break in Miami, but I ended up back where I
A
started.
lot of people have done that. They go to Miami, realize, and they come back, and
Yeah.
then you'll end up back there again.
Yeah, who knows?
All right, let's ask about this antique. Growing up, I was a big Planet of the Apes fan.
Oh, Lord.
This is a movie advertisement from Wednesday, June 26th. I don't know what year, but it wasn't even in color. Is it worth it? Is it trash or junk?
Again, I would never trash it, but this is probably going to be in the lower end of things. I
Yeah.
will tell you
Sorry, Randy.
Crapola.
that collectibles are really hot right now. It's one of the things that came back. Specifically, though, they want like graded baseball cards, graded comic books, investment stuff, something that you could buy today for, let's say, 10 grand, 15 grand. In 10 years, you will double your money. So that collectible stuff is hot.
Got
Movie
it.
memorabilia, sports a little bit, but it's got to be the best of the best with provenance.
What was the weirdest thing anyone's ever given you? Don't say my piece.
I'll tell you something, and I didn't buy it because I figured my wife would kill me, but I was in a house once, and they had a brain in formaldehyde in a box sitting on the mantle that he got from his father. The whole house was filled with quirky, cool, weird stuff like that.
And
That's like the young Frankenstein.
He had gorilla skulls, monkey skulls, but in
What?
that same house, he had weapons. He had that brain in formaldehyde, and I'm just thinking in my head, I got a 5-year-old. If that thing breaks in my car and goes all over, I got to get a new car.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no
That's
way.
true. That's true.
But I
You talk
think
about
that
losing
was-
your mind.
Yeah, there you go.
Not bad.
That was
not bad.
probably one of the weirdest ones.
Okay.
And then I've had I had one piece that I was in someone's house, and this piece ended up being she had Asian stuff everywhere, and it was a lot of reproduction. But
Right.
one piece sitting behind the couch, she had an idea that it was worth some money. It went for 180 grand.
Wow.
Is
And
that
it was
the-
just lying behind the couch.
She knew what it was, but she said her grandkids kept knocking it over. So she's
So
like,
she
I don't
got
need
bored.
this in the house anymore. I need to turn it over. So I connected her with one of my auction friends who sold it, and he got a good money for it.
Go
What
ahead.
was the most expensive thing you've ever found?
I had a couple pieces around that $200,000 mark, 180, $200,000.
Can you imagine just sitting at home and not knowing that you had something that valuable in the house?
I tell my wife that about me. Yeah, that's like, can she imagine? For God's sake?
so.
Yeah.
So you have. There's all kinds of different entrepreneurial journeys.
Yeah.
Some people are founders, some people are next generation,
Mm-hmm.
and many other journeys. But each one's unique. So if someone's out there and they're debating, hey, I am doing X, but I may go into the family business.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Is there any advice that you wish you had, someone had told you when you came aboard to work with your father?
Well, I will say in the transition period, it is very difficult. So as hard as it was, the most difficult part was telling my, father he had to kind of step back.
Right.
But I think in the end, if you got to make it clear with your family that whatever you're doing, it's the best for everybody. It's best for the family to kind of make the business expand and do better. And then you just have to trust your judgment that you're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm. And you even added something you didn't mention. Your sister's involved.
Both my sisters.
Oh, you
correct.
have two sisters.
Yes.
So both your sisters involved. And you said when you first got into the business with your dad, there was no technology.
Mm-hmm.
So that was intimidating for him, I'm sure. It's intimidating for me.
Yeah.
My father, the way it used to work, just to give you an idea of timing, back in the day, my father would be in a house, he would take a Polaroid, he would run it to his expert in the city an hour away, and then bring the Polaroid back and say, okay, I'm interested in the
sucked
piece.
then.
And then he would figure out and then go back to the city. Now I could send things, my experts are out of state, some of them. So I'm sending things
Incredible.
to California or Maine for an expert, and I'm getting answers like that.
So technology has really advanced your profession.
Yeah, and then to answer Randy's question, 100%, I think tech is the big part of it because I'm not a tech genius, but I know how to hire
enough to be dangerous,
and I know how to hire the right people, and which is very important. So
Bingo.
I knew that was needed, and some of the old school people are saying, "Oh, what do I need Google for? I don't care if someone gives me a bad review." I mean, I pride myself. If I do have a bad situation, like you said, which doesn't usually happen,
right,
I'll right the wrong to the best that I can because I care about my reputation and I want everyone to be happy, similar to the hospitality
and
industry.
you really do. I mean, I know you now for a few years, and you really do care about the people.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard you over the years talk about a situation where somebody's in financial duress and you were able to find a product that really helped them get on their feet. So that's
the best feeling.
And you're not
world.
taking advantage of them.
No, I mean, listen, I have to sleep at night, so I treat families as if they were my own family.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I have to run a business, so I have to make a profit. But in the end, a lot of my business is brokering things. So I'll say, this is the perfect person to sell your piece. This is where it belongs. Rather than me buy it for this and sell it for this, if they are not, in immediate cash right now, sometimes I say you can get more money. Do it this way.
That's that, and that's what the right thing to do is when you're passionate about your industry and helping people. That's the kind of thing you do.
Correct.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Adam, we really appreciate you coming in today. It was.
Oh, we're wrapping up already?
Yeah.
Those rats at WBAB, let's hold that up.
Yeah, just the last piece, just because this is in one of my ads that you might see around town. So
Gotcha.
this is pretty heavy. Let's hope I can drop it. So this is a lalique piece that you might see in a lot of people's homes, and it's a beautiful piece.
You have two of those.
A photographer might steal that before the end of the day.
Yeah, but this is a piece just...
Kelly, you're not allowed to take it.
No,
to
Kelly.
make people understand a little bit about the market. A lot of times when you purchase things, especially in the past 30, 40 years, it's not going to maintain its value. It's similar to a car back in the day where, you buy something, once it's out of the lot, it's worth a lot less money. So this is an example where it's $5,500 if you buy this in the store.
Wow.
And then within a week or two, once you try to resell it, this is only about $1,000. So it still maintains some of its value.
It devalues that quickly?
It's not trash. It's a bad investment.
Correct. So if you
different.
get it for a present, this is great. But just to let everyone know that just because you bought it for X does not mean you're going to get X once you sell it.
Yeah, that's good to know. And I wish on the radio you can't see it. But if you go to the WBAB, go to B2B with Randy and Craig. You can see the video and everybody can see your wonderful treasures. Not all your treasures.
No.
It's a family show, for God's sake. But we could have went on for a long time. Once again, how does somebody get a hold of you?
So the best thing to do is you can call our number, 212-366-9466, or, of course, you could visit the website, www.syl-leeantiques.com.
Love it. And you will come out to a house on Long Island from Montauk to Manhattan.
And I will say, because I don't want to, have to drive 1,000,000 miles every day, I can do a lot from pictures. So if you send me some pictures, it'll save both of us some time. I can say, yes, this piece is worth pursuing, worth some money. Or just from a quick phone call, I could say, you know what, you could donate that piece and not feel bad about it.
Awesome.
And you can call Ted.
And there you go.
No, seriously. Adam, thank you so much for coming on. Such an interesting story. I love antiques. I love that Craig's antique is worthless. And most importantly,
from B2B with Randy and Craig, that's a wrap.
There we go. Thank you for tuning in to B2B with Randy and Craig. Looking forward to hanging with you next week.
Please subscribe so you don't miss any future videos.